boot is for you. Good evening, folks. It's 13 minutes after midnight, and the third day here in England, the 11th month, 2025, and we're looking at a really, really nasty looking mix here that's been deployed. A really high atmosphere. It's going over, pardon the scroll there, it's going over the top of these microwave induced clouds here that have been nucleated with the boom 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 method of deploying the chemical catalyst that can yield the dust particles. Yeah, it's very easy to spot. I'm not going to be talking super loud or anything. I'm feeling a bit somber. And when I see stuff like this, a month or so ago, I warned somebody on the phone, and then they called me a couple week or so later. They were sick, and they put him in a hospital. He passed away last night. Don't you tell me this sickness mix don't kill. So I'm always happy to warn people. Looking at this square here, it's at an angle over the top of these other EMF lines, indications of setting the flow for where these storms are gonna plague this area here. Maybe there'd be some relief for some of these fires, because that's not a cam. That's fires right there. See that there? That's cam. That's fires. Judging by the smoke, there's some housing going up. I see that orange color. Ain't that odd? Waveforms in different directions here. Isn't it odd? So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to have a peek at. I'm pointing at something here. See from here to here, white, all the way over the top. It's a little bit grayer. When you start to see that look, it's imagine me saying like it's the vapors. It's something really thin, very thin layer of catalyst. It might be a little darker. Who knows? That might be have some of what we suspect of the use of carbon nanotubes or graphene oxide in the sky. It could be some evidence of that. With only the fallout in a microscope slide will yield it. Catch a raindrop and look at it. And here's some more of these plumes here. And I'm going to have a peek and show you that you can use the BOM new site. Do I think it blows? I never thought the good one did anything but suck, but that's just why I never really use them that much. Right? Right. So that's going on, and I'm going to check to see that this is rolling. Well, I give you a basic forecast of what to expect today. I'm not happy with their interpretation of today. They show this one don't show you the lightning as well, but this is what I think. This is the more accurate one to pick for today. It's not the ECMF. It's not matching up with what Mimic showed me. I did a flow map. This is more accurate. Yeah, a bit of a belter. It should cool down a bit as it gets toward the coast as far as the lightning goes, because it's hitting the EMF flow line. ECM is showing that thing was going to stop before it got there, and I don't think so. I think you're going to get a bit of rain. Over there, south to Rocky and all that. But right now, we're looking at the time period of about 9 o'clock tonight in the overnight hours. A bit of a lightning show. So turn the cameras towards the west, you'll see, quite the show. As the geoengineering goes on, and then a bit of a belter coming through over there near Bundy and all that. And this is coming to your afternoon hours tomorrow, especially when the heat of the day hits top of them clouds. I'm expecting to see lots of fogs down south because of the cool trough of air on top of warm waters. And if the dew points are right, you get some really neat fogs. With the swirls off the top of little lakes and stuff. I've spent a lot of time hiking and fishing, canoeing in mountains North Carolina. I got to see a lot of fogs, natural ones coming off trees. Gotta know your dew point. So don't think everything is nefarious until you look at the plume itself. But some of what I'm showing you can induce fogs. And will. Do we have the foggiest side? Oh, it looks like a penis insula right there. Wait a minute, what was that? Oh, I mean, high. Is it gonna rain? I think it's gonna piss it down there. I had to get a screenshot of that. Spunky air showing up, wintry mix. Cold enough to give you a wintry mix still this time of year. You ever hear some? Oh, I'll go take you down the rabbit hole. Ice nucleating bacteria. Look it up. It can make ice at 53 degrees Fahrenheit. You heard me right. Well, freezing is 32 Fahrenheit. Right? Okay, that's as far as I'm going to take you. I'm not going to go very far, because if I go past that, you're going to see. Hey, your weekend is a bit scrubbed. Yeah. We don't want our weather scrubbed. We want clean skies, man. That's what we need to scrub. The whole geo program. Or they'll set up big old air cleaners somewhere. Somebody get paid carbon capture. They dump that back on you. Recycle that, Cam. That's what I think. Shake the filters and recycle it. Why? Because people that do this, for lack of a better word, are a bunch of bastards. Yeah. Eyes wide shut, kind of don't know who the daddy is. Father's Day will be very confusing in some families. I have to say, very confusing. Right, Alice. Let's get to you guys up here tonight. This is a fair, accurate map. I don't have the mimic pulled up, but I should still have my comparison graphic here so I can show you. But you had some really big beams come out, and he set a choir of flow up, so I mapped it all out. Yeah, for the whole country, actually. And there's a lot of water here that's getting moved down a small channel. And right between these features here is this like the Mary River, something like that. Broom coming over this side up here. This is like Port Headland and all that. So the beam line is shut here, right? That you ain't getting past this line where I'm drawing here with the flow that's coming in from the tropics. But this cold air coming in is what's going to fuel the volatility of the thunderstorms you're going to see, and it makes tornadic activity conditions perfect. And it was all directed by EMF, like see the outline of that beam here through here. I didn't mark them all, and I don't feel like loading it again. Big beams, swelling the streams and killing the dreams. With a flow line they created over here to the west of Rocky and Yupun Tang. See the V shape today. It's all pointing at a device here. I'll probably get my map pulled up still. See which one it is. I like to coordinate, if I see something happening, to actually be able to go and look. Which one is it? It's this one here. Hello, you. There just happens to be, a NEXRAD radar, not HARP, NEXRAD, right here. And where all the lines of influence of nucleating condensates is occurring. And that is not HARP. Get it right. Different kind of energy being used. Different wavelength, even. And you got a lot of devices in New Zealand. I don't have all y'all's Mac. Hey, so I'll get away from that. I'll hold that there just in case we need it again. So we look at where the moisture moves in by moving these rivers around using electromagnetic frequency of many devices, not just HARP. Matter of fact, HARP is up in Alaska. It's not even on this image. But you got a ship at sea here. See this line here? here, the V, the pulse, boom, 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 like a Wi-Fi symbol. So you know you have some activity of some kind of device. A vessel is operating there. It's obvious. See the triangle? Triangles. Yep. Yes, muted triangle. Oceanic. So I'm going to keep that down there so we can refer to it again. And this is why I picked this particular map to show you guys, because I don't believe the other one was accurate. And what the other one isn't showing you is that it is that cold air in that EMF has left it wide open for you to come through between like a what's this Edelweiss I mean what is it, Krakow. Yeah, I say Krakow. Oh, it's a lot of water in this tendril coming past, and it's highly electric because it's right on the border where some really cool air is coming in the mix. Toowoomba radar was very active and split the flow, sending this to Brisbane and that to the bay, and then using the natural flow that happens down coast when you interact with islands that look like they're sticky out bits there. Yeah, these sticky out bits will cause a little bit of a drag, which will cause a low on that side of each one of these islands, which tends to make a suction. So I'm expecting quite a little bit of winds through here, and it should hold off some of their flows, because it's going to feed the storms to the north and south of them. That's just how that has to work. What's pressure looking like? That activity we've seen could be coming from Lord Howe. A vessel might not be involved at all, might be a device on that island. It's hard to determine. When they want to monitor everything you do with cameras, but they don't have cameras on the places that the public funds things to go on at. Houses of government, for instance. Yeah. Well, don't seem very fair to me. Right, Tassie. There you go again. Starting. Now, it's like Voldemort on the mountain. Begin. Yeah, I'm gonna let this just roll through while I have a sip of it. This delicious water. Ting. It's dumping some very unneeded rain on the island. I imagine you could use some sunshine. And we'll look at why this happened. I want to check my video quality while this happens. It's as loud as I can talk. I stayed out at the park too long. That cold air kind of kicked my ass a little bit. Well, he says I'm live. I'm going to change that picture. I'm tired of seeing that. The proboscis monkey. Mr. Proboscis. I'll put a picture of a plecostomus next, called a politician. They just sit on a glass and just suck the freaking algae, slime molds off. Anyways, others are watching you. You're like a kiss, I'm watching you. Wintry mix, again, descending up the Arthur River, down coast, so that gives you that nice feed of wind as it comes over. Then the wind's going to change direction on Tuesday. Oh, it's going to get cold. Driving this air all the way from the temperatures from down here are going to come to visit. It's not pleasant. That's cold. Right? It's coming to visit. Right? If we look in the higher altitudes, you want to see how cold it is? Let's take you up about 10,000, 3,000 meters, which is about 10,000 feet, right? And that's a band of air that's moving in between some layers, right? It's already giving you the creepy crawlers up through the mountains. It causes a wintry mix. If we go even higher in altitude, and this is important when you're seeing different layers moving into each other, and we take you about 40,000 feet. It's up about here. Should be good enough. 10,000 meters. Look at this. It's 30,000 feet. Right? That's around average where a jet plane flies. Even 10,000 higher. And that's how cold it is there from when the jet engine hits a particle. It's easy for it to condensate into a cloud particle. or a nuclei, right? The water droplet. And then I got to calculate this stuff too. And if the data don't match, and sometimes their temperatures don't match their forecast, I have to know this. So don't you tell me there's always fake weather if you can't tell me what natural weather would be. That flow is being forced up there by those beams that I had marked out. Right? Okay, so this is your ground level temperatures. I brought you back down to earth a little bit. Hope you enjoyed that little journey. Yeah, see how these tongues of cold air have descended up? It's going to fuel some very violent storms. And all it takes is chemical catalysts and different kinds of things mixed in, and you got it all going on here. And from that layer, but this layer going over the top has hidden a lot of things, but it hasn't hidden these little V's of EMF. These could even be radar trucks measuring the storm. You ever see a mobile radar? Tornado hunters and stuff. Boy, do those things beam up some storms. And they aim their devices at layers of the atmosphere to study them, but they influence the weather. And you can't tell me there might not be the possibility of a back door into a computer system that runs this nefarious program that's going on. See that vapory look? That's your storm line. That's where she's calling. And that's current data as of 20 minutes ago. Right? It's the most current I have. Latest, not so greatest to view. I'll refresh it in case we get another minute. Because every minute counts. Right? And this is the sickness mixing. When it's done making its cloud particle, it falls out. Falls to the ground. Get the sneezies. Turn on your light at night in a place that has no industry, no big dust problems, and you're seeing what looks like dust going past. Put on a black light. I don't know if you could pick it up, but boom, 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 boom. I find this map pretty easy to use. Then I can go look at your radar. Yeah, I ain't too happy with these images, but it's pretty easy to fix, you know. They got these layers over here. Layers. There you get rain reflectivities, map settings. Let's look at some map settings. I have to take that down a little bit. We can look through this too as well. But I think what matters the most right now is the rain you're about to get. So we'll have a look through this things. So we go with the mark. We'll pick up your map settings. You had it all going on earlier. We'll go to the photogenic map. Forecast and coastal districts we do not want. I find I like to look at that map better. Come on. Yeah, it's just learn to use something new, man. You zoom in on and still see your radars. At what point can't you see your beaming going on here? You still see it. See it through here, see the straight line? Point right at you, Isa. I could turn off all these districts. It's going to help me learn some of your districts and stuff too. So, Ali Karanga over there. It's going to help me out a bit, look. And then I can click on it. Right? Click on it. Have a look. And you can see where the stars are, can't you? Can you see this? At what point can't you see this? I ain't had a problem with it. That's just the map. You click the main site. More maps. See that? More maps. You want your Med-Eye? It's over here. You want your Sat View? It's over here. It's just learn to surf it. Everybody's always complaining. You recognize these screens? Right? Recognize it? You got lots of good data you can get here. If you choose to. You want your Sat View? Bam. Explore images. I know I click fast, but you know how to use pause, don't you? I just thought it would maybe help you guys a bit. Right? You still got it right here. That's your Sat View. And this is an image as of, again, about 20 minutes ago. It must be every 20. They have to look it over to decide if it's too guilty to show. Maybe they could take an image from 3 months ago and show it to you. We wouldn't know. But it's a very... That's very devilish looking, man. I don't like seeing that. Well, I gotta have a coastline. Where exactly is it? Is that the Poontang area? Capricorn Coast, yep. Devilish cloud, I don't like seeing that over there. Oh, my great goodness past. Look at the big V again. Another one of those V's. There's radar activity. It's all pointing right here. This is kind of obvious. See there? There's a radar over there. We got a big spiritual fight on our hands, I see. Scalar square right there. That's where the radar is right there. 100% the glitch is showing in the clouds. Yeah. Keep telling you guys, we don't stop this, man. We're all gonna wake up dead. See how they come through that field of crap there? See that boom, boom, boom right there? Pow, going in all directions, looking like a spider. Boris the chem bomber, small enough to creep under your door. He'd invade you in your womb, the chem bomb in your room. He goes, is the chemtrail in the room? That was the stupidest thing I ever heard. I never heard of nanoparticles because I don't want all this flashing and I ain't taking forever to load to sat mirror. But as you can see, you can negotiate that site. Clicks and things. Yeah, you're not gonna like explode with doing it. You know, you could do this. So you can spec when the sickness mix is coming. It's an easy site to negotiate. All they did was go over here, click what would be the national loopy. I went over here where it said more maps, right at the top of the page. There's everything you wanted. Regional maps, the forecast, the sea level pressures and all that. But there's still, I don't see them forecasting a fart on a can of beans. The Marble one is good. You want radars themselves, just click it. There's your New South Wales, right? It's here. It's here. It's over here. But it's just something new. And that tells you where you got your, all the coordinates, where they're located at, right? It's just negotiations. It's just something new to learn. Right? Stay young, learn things. And so here's the latest imagery that we have. We actually got it from 17 minutes ago. We're moving along. The aroma over Mount Roma and Mitchell. Right, all this chem here. Just show you now the line of storms. Now we really see that the path that's spelled out here is not the path they're showing you on this particular graph on Wendy. Okay, so I'm going with icon because it seems to be showing the most accurate today. How's the heat? Oof, a steamer, absolute steamer. What a shame, what a shame. Gotta throw the Kilburn program down the drain. And the guy who paid for it, I think, needs to go to trial, and if the law allows it, should hang higher than Haman while we all munch on a Hamantaschen. That's what I think about that. Now, here's where they say their thunderstorms are coming today. And I'm fair in agreement with this. They seem a bit on the delay, a bit on the south side here. The line seems a bit north. Yeah. You gotta watch Windy, man. They don't even, they give you 4 choices, man. It's like, yes, no, maybe so. The WAG method. You know, wild ass guessing. So I gotta look at the geo conditions on the day. You see that Gimpy coming through here on the overnight hours. So maybe 9, 10 o'clock tonight. 7, 8 o'clock, you should be seeing it to the west. And then, well, she bust just for Bundy. We got wet down that sugar cane, you know. The ginger beer is mighty fine, but the sarsaparilla kick your ass a little bit more. It, that storm will split when it hits Lord Howe. That beam they put out there says that has to happen. Like a turd, don't it? Big yellow turd. Coming across to New Zealand, what a shame. These are the thunderstorm lines themselves. But this is what most people would be concerned about. Am I going to get wet? A gusher, man. An absolute gusher. So I have to do this in quadrants. We'll do a quick sound check. If I hear myself. Yeah, it's going to be quite a lightning lane. Yes, yeah, I am expecting tornadic conditions too, especially as you head further south. Thunder, lightning, water spouts. Yep, the whole ball of lightning and wall of thunder, as Elmer J. Fudd would say. Versus Mr. Magoo, who would say, I don't know, what is the politician saying these days? Here we go, out to sea, right on schedule. Right, you guys. Melbourne, ready for some wets? Here it comes, a nightmare on every street. Yeah, you and Tazzy both getting the wetnesses. I think I showed Tazzy earlier. Oh, that's a big batches of lightning in the air down there south of Broken Hill. Gonna be a lot of wind feeding toward that storm. All the dust in the air. Keep safe on them roads, you high-sided vehicles. The cold air is gonna be pumping up. Absolutely pumping up into New South Wales, out here to South Australia, all the way into Queensland. You're going to see some cold, nipply nights. You're going to need that hoodie that you set aside. Yeah, a hoodie, walking around with some thongs on. Unbelievable. Yeah, I can see it now. Someone with a park or going down to the mailbox with shorts and a thong on. And that's going to let the mosquitoes go dormant. They'll lay a few eggs and you'll have another hatch. There's consequences for things. Schmansequences. Yeah, it's a relentless fight, Tazzy, I have to say. Sucks to be you sometimes, like the entire 6 month period of time of weather. I'd love to see the totals for your entire 6 months to a year. It's been one of the wettest I've ever forecast for an island area. But they use it as a sticky outfit. They can create a peninsula if they make the area of the Bass Strait have solidity or a path of resistance through EMF. So they do control that strait to do that a lot. And well, you're just the tip of the penis insula when that happens. The EMF insula, if you will. See, that's going to take a lot of EMF over on in Cook Strait there on Thursday to hold that storm off like that, which is going to increase the earthquake risk for that area, big time. Just looking at the dynamics of their weather plane, oh God, here we go. And we got a tug back and forth between two highs. Yeah, that's beans. So I'm expecting big beans on Saturday. Maybe they'll say the sun kicked off a big something. So make an excuse for the bean they're going to need to use to modify the weather. They do that a lot. They say the sunspots sometimes. I go make a pinhole, put it in a shoebox, and film it. Did you see any sunspots? Yes or no? On the little dot of light, it'll show you all you need. That's how we used to even look at an eclipse. When I was at school, when they taught real science, where you didn't have to look between your legs. As a matter of fact, if you was looking between your legs, question whether you had a pee-pee, you'd be down talking to the counselor. Or you would just run. There's no questions after this stuff. We had to learn our times tables. We was too busy learning that quadratic equations and stuff. I haven't memorized Euclid stuff, and I couldn't get stuck laughing over the guy's name. I'm living with a bunch of clits, and I don't use algebra as much. Actually, I use it all the time calculating. Look at all the tangents. Boom, boom, boom. That's going to take a long way in frequency to do. See, that's going to be a big pulse. Boom, 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 boom. Like heartbeat things that miles and miles between peaks and troughs. Big, 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 low, ultra low wave frequency. So I'll be expecting a pulse like that. And again, that's around the time they're holding our stuff from Cook. So it's going to be interesting, the beams that they'll do on Friday, my time. Oh, the dramas of the figuring out how they would do the weather plan. And again, the high pressure's locked all the way over through Africa. This is going to continue, this cycle of storms for probably about the next 3 weeks, easily. Easily. This is as far as I'm going to take. It's the worst news you ever want to hear. Let's look at some of the radars and see some of what's affecting you guys today. We'll turn we will show the lightning for a change. But not my location, because then we wouldn't be looking at your storms. We'd be looking at mine. Okay, that's enough of that. Increase the map size. Let's see what ice is doing now, not what they say it's going to do. Oh, there's a beam pointing right at you. See that right there? That's the Mount Isa radar, right? That's this one. Up here. I believe it's this one. Yes, that's this one here. Right outside your town. Oh, Mount Isa. Now, Isa's asshole. The asshole of Isa. And there's a device nearby here I'm very curious about. I have this one here. It's a dish, but it's not aimed up. It's aimed across. And it looks like it might swivel. It's also, there's a tower here. I'm very curious what this is. So if anybody knows, let me know. Then I can have information to base a decision on. Does it swivel? Does it turn? And can I ever type correctly? The world may never know. The next thread that did it is this device here. So it's all along the same road. Right, see that thing right there? The Poindexter. The golf ball out of Tages begging for a crane with a big golf ball club on it. Oh, I have a dream. So that's pretty much triangulated that of where that is. That part of town even, right? Right where it's pointing at. And here you have atmospheric EMF perturbations. They're perturbing the atmosphere, which makes me kind of perturbed too. And even that one line there, pointing right at it, you don't send as much beam up there, or at a different part of the atmosphere where there's less condensates, to send a reflection back to be determined by the graph to give you a color of what's there, right? It's actually a different part of the atmosphere, and when you don't see anything, it's not sending a signal out there. There's nothing to bounce off of. And that creates less perturbances, right? Or outflow boundaries, places for things to flow. And it's just creeping along. It's not highly electrical yet, but once the heat of the day hits the top of that cloud, it's all going to change. And so be watching for when that happens. I'm not really sure what time it is there. It's probably about another 3 hours or so. Hey, Malvern, see the beam pointing at your ass right here? So I see you. I see you. And I know what you do. Trying to determine, Dublin, somebody asked me, these cells as they come across, they're hitting a beam line that's not showing up here. And boy, did it split the storm up into pieces. Chem-wise, it's not the most pleasant thing to have to show. And it's not showing super well, but you can still see some of the tendrils of death over here on top of another triangle of clouds. See it? It's on a different layer of the atmosphere, that one triangle with this going over the top. So they're really working up something here. It's just they combine these storms into existence, like this thing here, this object. It's in the upper atmosphere. If you determine that by what clouds go over the top of the other, you can roll about 3 hours of this. Big square goes past. That took a blast. Which one of your radars did that? Getting fried, straight style. Fried wine in the McLaren Vale. Would you like a bottle of fried wine? You drink enough of that wine, you won't get fried, that's for sure. You can get fried while getting fried. You want fries at that? Would you like fries? Bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. Horse them around, horse them around. See the condensates that are a little bit thicker like a V? Draw some lines with a ruler. Maybe it'll make sense to you. Oh my, look at the vapors off the coast here that came over the top of you guys and then went that way. How many directions of wind you got here? That's really high atmosphere, that dark stuff. The light, the ice crystals absorb different wavelengths of light than the one down here. And it's going over the top. I'd expect shadow on a cloud that was underneath a cloud. But that one's brighter than the one going over the top. Isn't that odd? Don't you find that odd? That's an odd job they did. Wasn't that a character in a TV show, Odd Job? Bzzz. See the sine wave formed of that? Right off the coast of the Newcastle Friar. Is the Friar on there? Now, that's the kind of signal I expect to see from this device. Here, oh, eyes turned upside down. Let's see how good I am. We go right into it. Eyes is just turned upside down and I didn't care. He's winning in here. That's next right on the building. Yeah, I found something. That's this. That's this thing. This does that. That's doing that. The Tesla death ray. The death ray growing tomatoes. Have they dug it up yet? Is it? No, there's mess. The weather machine. Jarn. Not defunded. That's cool looking in there. It's a Let's keep that up just in case we want to zoom in on anything else. Yeah, that's that kind of a waveform I expect to see from an analog antenna. This is very current image. Very, very current. I could just stop in there because it's giving me a headache. How you doing, New Zealand? Not bad, not bad. Yeah, definitely the Friar is on here. Look at the scalar square over here. Otaki. I'm going to go for it. Paramu. Parauma. Umu. Paraumu. Balalala. Square. We got to confront this square. So that shut the flow of the strait off. A big scalar square there just to the west of Richmond. Nothing to see here. Takaka over here is nice clear skies, beautiful green to see. Love to see it. So you can see the square from here to here. Maybe that's why it's so clear over there. Yeah, they fried you. Fried skies, chem-bombed all the hell over here, going right up the sphincter. Here's the sphincter. Though if you look at it, it'll look like a tree a bit. Nah, it's a sphincter. I could have said something worse. It could have been far worse. I could have picked the sphincter. You got two choices. I could call you the sphincter, or I could call you the cunt. I thought I picked good, right? Somebody questioned me. Don't you ever question your nickname. I'll give you a Darth Vader quote. Fred, don't alter the deal further. I'd hate to leave a garrison behind. Where did I end up with the sun is set? Cape Town. I go all the way over here in Africa. What is this? Massive crap here. A big, huge circle of EMF here that kind of say the difference. We're going to have one of those wave blobs off the coast show up on the stats. Who knows? So let's have some more look-ins and doings. You've already seen the paths where the storms are going to go today, haven't you? I showed you 3 times. Now I'm touring around thinking about turning this off. The totals was looking about 3-4 centimeters in the path of those storms over the next 36 hours, every bit of it. It'll come quick. So flash flooding is to be expected. All these different kind of cloud types existing at the same time is even weird. We've gone full V in this one. They could get W. Maybe they call Wonder Woman as an invisible plane spreading the bombs. Healthy vitamins or something. Why don't you tell me that? Meanwhile, the toxic air alerts keep getting, and this stuff is headed towards a major populated area. So, you don't want to sleep with the windows open tonight? Keep an eye on these storms here. They haven't gone electrical big time yet. That one's gone. That is. That absolutely is. So if this was a deeper red all the way through to here, that would be a proper hook trail. That is not. Right? I'm going to teach you guys how to read these. But that is starting to rotate. And it's coming right over the top of you there, Springton. You got one coming over the top of you. I'm going to have fun with some of these names. Gumby, damn it, over there in Birdwood. Not so pleasant for Mount Pleasant, but much more pleasant than Springfield, Simpsonville. We get swans. This creek's going to run a bit. You're going to get some skyria-induced runs. Every swan reach, loose as a goose. I can't resist. I have to keep in a good mood. Even Brother Boo passed away last night. Peacefully in his sleep in the early morning hours. Another victim of Chem-bomb Hesman. The one we call what it is. Militarized pneumonia. Chem-bomb flu, man, we've been talking about it for years. It's more important I get on with it. There's a deep sadness is upon me. I'll turn it into fight. Finally the heat's starting to kick it off. Let's see what this satellite's showing up here. Here she comes. The bombs are kicking them off. And hit that field of microwave. Boy, look right there. Look at the farm on this. Just seen it. See squares? It hit them microwaves and it reacted straight into a scalar field. See it briefly, and then it hit the waveforms and gets chopped up in the convections of any glider pilot. I would understand the principles of the thermals. Well, that creates thermals. Agreed? I wouldn't want to be a skydiver going through that, but I would love somebody to do it and take a sample of what they pick up at some, put it in a jar and send it off to an honest lab. So, because we deserve an honest answer to what is in this. And there's only one reason why they're doing this. It's because we let them. It's because we let them. We tolerate these lies that can get told later on it wasn't a serious problem. We get told that something's safe and effective that is far from it. We get told geoengineering is a conspiracy theory, yet it's being openly sold on the market. And well, there's your totals. They're not so terrible, but they're coming on the quicks when they do, and this totals up here are a bit inaccurate. So go with what I said earlier. Oh, that's because I picked this one. Yeah, big totals. you know what's coming. I said it. That's again. Let's change this day. 3 and 4 centimeters to be expected in these downpours that are there. You can see the scalar field exactly mapping out like Mimic showed. So they can't tell me it's a glitch. And what we used to say in the neighborhood, don't you lie to me, motherfuckies. Don't you ever lie to me. That is all.